Should you sell low ticket products or services or high ticket? And low ticket have this perceived idea that it's easier to sell them. So which one should you do? Well, in my mind, there's no question. I've sold many quote unquote low ticket items and high ticket items, and the effort it actually takes to sell a low ticket product versus high ticket product is exactly the same. Like, I could tell you that, I've invested, let's say, a month trying to close a deal that was quote unquote low ticket, and I invested the same month or even faster for high ticket and got paid 10 times more. In my mind, it's really a no-brainer, because you should really expand how much money you're making from a deal as much as possible every single time. So high ticket all the way. Let's get into it. How do you do it? How do you sell to those clients? Let's get right into it. Before we dive in, just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Alex. I'm the founder of Elite Closers Club. It's a sales mentoring program that helps you get better at sales over time, teaches you the right techniques to follow, as well as helps you develop the actual skills that you need in order for you to be good at sales. So we started this channel to help you do exactly the same thing. So we share here the very same kind of tips and tricks you could use in your sales career right now for absolutely free. So I hope that this benefits you greatly. And if you do like these type of videos, please share, like, and subscribe to our channel. You will not miss any upcoming videos, and it helps us grow tremendously. So click below to subscribe now. Okay, let's jump right into the video. So I'm a huge believer in the idea that whenever you do something, whenever you spend time doing something, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, you should try to get as much of a payout for it as you can possibly get. And what I mean by that is, people do things for different reasons, right? So in sales, for example, monetary compensation is one of them. You're making money as an end result of this. Well, you should make as much money as you possibly can as a goal. That should be your goal. Your goal shouldn't be making very little money. You should be making a lot of money. So as you may or may not know, I also run an advertising agency called Links Digital, and I've seen so many different offer structures and pricing structures for offers. That is crazy. And very, very often when people start out, the first thing they ask is, what should I price my offer, right? And what I always say is that you should test different pricing levels, and you should push as much as possible to get the pricing level as high as humanly possible. And people often they don't know how to do that, and all I say to that is just test them. Sell at this level, then try selling at this level, then try selling at this level. And at some point, you're going to experience pushback from the marketplace. So literally, your clients will stop buying from you as easily as they did before. And that's your indication that you reached the top of that pricing kind of like what the market is willing to pay for your products or services, right? So very, very often, that's exactly what I do with my offers, is when I try to test them at different pricing levels. And once I reach some sort of a pushback, at that point I go, okay, so this is a good price level for it. And then I go selling at that price level. But I digress. We're here to talk about how do you sell to these high-end, high-ticket clients. How is that different than selling to somebody who is kind of low ticket or willing to pay you small price for your offer or a service? So the first thing we really need to talk about is the fact that nobody buys a product or a service. They buy solutions, really. And at the end of the day, every product or service carries a solution to some sort of a problem for that client, right? Even if it's a vanity kind of thing where they want it, so they're buying from you because they want it, that want in itself is a problem for them because they want it so bad that it becomes a problem. And the second part of this is that the worse they want it, the more they're willing to pay for it, and the faster they open up their wallets, mainly because it truly doesn't matter how much things cost. What matters is the value exchange. So how much value that client is getting for what you have to offer. So if the value is great, they don't care about the price. They'll pay the money. If the perceived value of it is small, they will not be willing to pay anything for it. So whenever you're selling a high ticket product, you better be delivering a lot of value. That's the first point I want to make. The other thing I want to say about this is that the clearer you make the fact that your product or service carries that perfect solution for them, the quicker they make a buying decision, right? The quicker you make that link for them that, you will solve their problem essentially, right? The faster they will make a buying decision. So some of the considerations in terms of selling high ticket kind of product. I came up with 3 ways of doing it that truly does make a difference when you're selling to higher-end clients. So the first thing is speaking with authority. You really need to understand that people who are willing to pay high prices, they only want to buy from experts. They really do not want to buy from people starting out. They don't want to buy from, peddlers of goods, right? They want to buy from experts because they think that if they buy from experts, that will give them an edge. That will be a better solution than a solution they could buy for very cheap. As a matter of fact, very often what happens is that they will pay extra premium essentially if they perceive that you are an expert, right? They overpay specifically. So what are some of the simple techniques that you could use to appear to them as an expert? Well, the first thing is something that's called tonality. And tonality is just the way you speak, the way you vary the tone of voice that psychologically commands their attention. So if your tone of speech is very monotone, it's very hard for them to think of you as an expert because you're just boring. Really, if I would be talking like this, there would be no emotion in my voice at all, and it would be really boring for you to listen to me, and you would likely not continue. But here, I'm bringing a lot of energy to my voice, and I'm varying my voice up and down. Sometimes I speak louder, sometimes lower, and what happens is that it grabs your attention just a tiny little bit more than it would normally. People who speak confidently, they tend to do that, and because of that, that's what makes it different. That's the difference that they're looking for psychologically. This all happens subconsciously, right? So that's the first tip. The next tip I got for you is that you really need to provide feedback to what they're saying. So you're going to ask them a whole bunch of questions. You're going to learn about the things that they're struggling with. But at the end of the day, they're looking for advice. They're not looking for you to sell them anything yet. They're looking for advice. So what I would do is I would really provide almost like consulting services for them, right? Speak to them as if you would be a consultant, as if you would provide, like, I would do it this way and I would do it this way. This is how you could solve your problem. What about this option? Have you tried this? What that does is it's almost like a preview of how well of a product you will deliver at the end of the day. And the better you do this part, the more confidence they will have that the end product that they buy from you will be that much more effective. So great technique. I use it probably in 90% of my sales calls. And this last bit goes into the second technique that we're going to be talking about, which is essentially presenting your offer not in a way that's going to be pitchy, like it's going to be a sales pitch. What we're going to do is we're just going to carry our advice in transitioning it into a sales conversation. So what I mean by that is your advice will be linking your products or services to the possible solution that they need to solve their problem. So you would essentially tell them that, you know what, I have this service and it can help you solve your problem in this particular way. Would that be interesting to you? So it's not pushy way of selling. It's more kind of you giving advice, and if they take it, great. If not, no big deal. And at the end of the day, if you can figure out how to marry your product or service to this idea that it's going to be their solution to this specific problem they're having, That's what's going to be the most effective part of it, because nobody buys anything from anybody unless it is true solution to what they're struggling with, right? So if you master that part, it's going to be truly selling without selling, right? So it's one of those things where it's just conversational. It happens by itself without you mentioning anything like features and benefits, the traditional sales model, right? That we don't want to be doing that at all, because we don't want to sound like we're selling. We want to sound like we're giving advice and we're helping the other person. And the final part to this is that you want to create a sense of urgency for them to buy. And please, 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 please do not do this. I got this limited time special that's only available today. Please buy it, or it's not going to be available tomorrow. It's the cheapest way of getting a sale. It's too easy, and people see right through it, and it just pisses people off. I hate doing that technique. I've done it, but I hate doing that because it's a cheap way out, right? It's not sophisticated. So what I'm talking about is a little bit different. What I'm talking about is showing the client of what they will miss out if they're not going to purchase from you. Things like, how much money your client stands to lose if this is not implemented right away. How much suffering this will resolve for them, just in general. Like if they're having a problem, it will alleviate a lot of pain, right? But you really have to highlight the pain, but be very delicate about it, because think about what you're doing. When you're highlighting any pain, what you're doing in effect is you're pouring salt on an open wound. You don't want to be doing that too much. You literally just want to touch it and let it go, right? So you want to mention it in passing, where you say, the truth is that, if you don't take action on this, it will continue. You stand to lose X amount of money, right? And then as soon as you mention it, move away from that completely, because they are aware that they're in pain. You do not need to harp on it. And if you go too much, what it's going to do is it's going to piss them off and break rapport again. So do not overdo this last technique. So these 3 simple techniques is really what you need to kind of give yourself a little bit of an edge when you're selling high ticket products or services, right? And the truth is that the main thing that people are looking for when they're buying a high ticket item is elevated sense of excellence. So your delivery has to be actually just a little bit better, right? People expect to have perfect service, not good service, but perfect service. And if they don't get that, what happens is that they're really disappointed, right? So you want to set that tone from the get-go, from the sales call, right? Because that will give them confidence that they will actually get what they're paying for. So very simple, don't overcomplicate it. High ticket sales world is absolutely not intimidating. You just need to get in there. It is very similar to low ticket sales. It's just a little bit more refined. So these techniques are very effective. I use all of them on a daily basis. So I hope you like them. If you like this video and you want more of these videos, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Helps us grow, helps you follow us so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.